Very much. It's a real pleasure to be here with you guys today. I'm here in two capacities. The first one is I work for SAP, as they mentioned earlier. Also as a parent of two young adults in the autism spectrum that are trying to find their way into the workplace as well. Okay, so let me first start with a very concise use case of neurodiversity in the workplace. We are a company of 85,000 employees in 190 countries. And we made a commitment that we would have 1% of our entire workforce represented by people in the autism spectrum. The idea today is that I show you a little bit as to why we're doing that, what are the benefits, and what is the status of our program. I thought, since I only have now 9 minutes and 13 seconds left, that I would show you a video with the voices of my colleagues in the autism spectrum from around the world. And then we'll go into the details as to how the program works. Can we play the video, Wayne, please?
According to the United Nations, 80% of the people from the autism spectrum are unemployed. SAP want to change this?
We have a clear focus on diversity and inclusion at SAP because we know that it drives innovation. It helps us to grow our employee engagement, and it truly supports us to understand our customers, make the world run better, and improve people's lives.
The SAP Autism at Work program has really touched a lot of lives. Managers that knew nothing about autism are telling us that they have become better managers as a result of being part of the program.
The autism colleagues provide us a very important analytical mindset that allows us to think outside of the common boundaries that we have every day.
There are a lot of benefits hiring people with an autistic diagnosis into our company. One is that team spirit has improved tremendously. It has really a positive impact on SAP's culture.
I truly believe that we have to think differently about how we define talent and how we source for talent.
SAP's Autism at Work program has given me a level of confidence and a belief that the integration of individuals on the spectrum is possible.
SAP provides employment opportunities for the educated autistic people in India. It means a lot to both me and my family.
Working in SAP changed my life. I have good friends in a personal life.
Employment at SAP for me means financial stability and more independence.
I think SAP has made a valuable difference in my life, getting me started in the workforce. And I am very grateful every day that I have this job.
This opportunity has been life-changing. Now I can see there's a possibility for a long-term career with SAP.
I've been able to represent SAP's Autism at Work initiative at the United Nations for the World Autism Awareness Day. I couldn't have been more proud to represent a company that I truly believe in.
It's very rewarding to see this colleague with autism be one of the major contributors to these two patents that are groundbreaking and bring new innovation to the company.
We are running a 15-person team, and one of them happens to be on the spectrum. That individual is literally our single line of defense, our back-end system of the database. It's mammoth.
For all those job seekers who have autism, you're going to face countless rejections, but don't let those rejections make you give up.
And it's been a wonderful experience to see how these folks that have very different backgrounds who are in the autism spectrum collaborate, help each other.
We're building a pipeline for hope in the future and also inspiring other employers to do the same.
The talk is always about return on investment. Tap into our skill sets because we're really good and we will return on that investment.
I work at SAP.
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 Thank you. Many people ask me, why do we have trains in this picture? And a lot of our colleagues in the autism spectrum are very fond of trains, okay, because they are linear, sequential, very predictable. And that's why in some of our presentations we elect to use this image. Let's go back to the topic of neurodiversity, which is an approach to learning and disability that suggests that various diverse neurological conditions are part of the human genome. And when we look at it that way, we're looking at it in a completely different light. We're not looking at it as just a condition, but also there's going to be some benefits associated with being in that condition. So for example, if you look at people that have autism spectrum disorder, bipolarity, ADHD, you're going to find countless stories of people that are successful, not in spite of the condition, but because of the condition. Okay? We're finding that there's an edge on individuals that bring this diversity into the workplace, that allow them to bring a different perspective, that allows us to be more creative in the creation of solutions, specifically in our company. For those of you who are not too familiar with autism, it's a condition that basically impacts the ability to communicate and socialize. There's a very, very high incidence, 1 in 42 boys and 1 in 189 girls. The impact in the United States is approximately $250 billion per year, 1.4 million per family. About 85% of people in the autism spectrum of working age are unemployed, and about 60% of those people have the capability of working. Of those 15% that have a job, approximately, I guess 90% of them are unemployed or underemployed. The interesting part of this is that there's a huge opportunity. We have approximately 50,000 jobs unfulfilled here in the Bay Area alone, according to Forbes magazine article that was published about 3 years ago. The question is, how do we create a bridge between this supply of incredible talent and the demand? And frankly, we have not been able to do that as companies. Part of the problem might be what we see here. It's bias, okay? I found this newspaper article where I live in Austin, Texas, and it says, failure to make eye contact can alienate hiring managers. And then there's other things that are interview killers, like fidgeting, not being well-dressed, a weak handshake, not looking at somebody in the eye. I can tell you that if we would have used this as the protocol to hire our colleagues in the autism spectrum, we would have not hired about 99% of them. But we also would have missed the patents that have been filed so far by colleagues in the autism spectrum. Okay? So there's an enormous amount of work to be done in differentiating the process of charming the interviewer, in the process of being able to communicate your skills. And for that reason, we have created very specialized processes for people in the autism spectrum at SAP. So in 2013, we created this thing called the Autism at Work program, which, as I said before, has a pledge of having 1% of our workforce represented by people in the autism spectrum. This is part of our vision of a company to make the world run better and improve people's lives. A lot of our companies have visions and mission statements. For me, this became a reality. This program, when I saw make the world run better and improve people's lives, and then when I saw this program, I thought this is really something that I can touch and feel. Why do we hire people in the autism spectrum? First, we want to attract the best talent in the industry. Doesn't matter what the talent look like. We need to bring a different perspective into our creative process. Alan Kay, some of you may know Alan Kay, creator of object-oriented programming, graphical user interface, one time said that a different perspective is worth 80 IQ points. And it's incredibly important for us to bring that perspective into the creative process of the company. We have 350,000 customers that have an immense amount of diversity within their ranks. In order for us to sell solutions, to provide solutions to these customers, we have to be reflective of the same diversity that customer base provides. We need to tap into an underutilized source of talent. One university told us that they estimate they have 300 students that are in the autism spectrum. That's one university. There's a wave coming at us of talent that has not been tapped yet. So it is incredibly important for us to be able to create those bridges that will allow these individuals to make it into the workplace. We also capture the special skills of people with autism. We have great engineers, we have great designers, great business analysts. We have right now 23 different roles in the company. So we don't have one role for somebody in the autism spectrum. People in the autism spectrum join the company wherever their talents happen to lie. So we have people that work in human resources, in software engineering, in graphic design, in the legal department, in customer service, everywhere in the company. Every division of the company is now represented by somebody in the autism spectrum. But in addition to this, they also bring a very, very special trait. And those are the skills that are part of the manifested as part of the autism condition. What are those? Sometimes, not everybody has them, but ability to see patterns in systems and data, the ability to have a terrific memory, okay? So there's a magnitude of other benefits and skills that these individuals bring into the organization. But lastly, what is important for us as well as a company is retention. We know the turnover rates in locations like the Valley, right? So for us, and I have had conversations with my colleagues in the autism spectrum who have told me, I have arrived. I'm going to stay here my entire career, because they feel that they are accommodated and their interests are being addressed and their difference addressed as well. So it is incredibly important for us. This program is sponsored by our executive board. Okay, so we have a board member of the company, the executive sponsor, Mr. Rob Enslin. And it goes all the way to the top, but we also have a very strong grassroots movement within the organization. To give you an idea, when we launched the program in New Townsburg, Pennsylvania, we were hiring the first 7 individuals in the autism spectrum. So we made a call for volunteers to see how many people would want to become mentors for these colleagues. We thought, well, maybe we're going to get 4 or 5 people. First call, we had 28 people that raised their hand. Okay, 70% of these individuals that wanted to be mentors are not, don't have a personal affinity with the topic of autism. So this is something that is a huge benefit for companies from an employee engagement perspective as well. And these benefits are 360. I hope that you have an opportunity to explore our program on the internet. So far, we have had 100 companies that have approached us interested in learning about the program. We work very closely with companies like Microsoft, like Hewlett-Packard, EY, Ford Motor Company, who are also getting started with neurodiversity programs. If you have any questions, I'm going to be somewhere in there. I'll be happy to take your questions, okay? Thank you very much.